Welcome to the Nevis newscast for Thursday, November 3rd, 2022. I'm Donis Wilkinson-Keynes. The new leader of the Taiwan Technical Mission in St. Kitts and Nevis made his inaugural visit to Nevis on Wednesday, November 2nd, pledging to assist in the development of agriculture on the island. Mr. Roy Yuan Hong Lo takes over the post from former mission chief Yu Ming Lu.
Today is my first time to come to visit Nevis. And I feel the environment is really nice. The air is fresh, and thanks for the welcome me to come here. Then I will do my best to help the Nevis to develop the agriculture and also other areas. I'll do my best as a leader of Taiwan Technical Mission.
Meeting with a delegation from the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Low presented some 2,000 pineapple slips, which Permanent Secretary Huey Sargent says will be distributed to the Cades Bay and Indian Castle fruit orchards.
And we want to say, in welcoming Mr. Low, we want to also say thank you for the gifts that you've come at a good time, and we are very grateful. And part of our meeting delegation today to the Taiwanese Technical Mission, we had Director of Agriculture, Mr. Randy Elliott, Deputy Director, Mr. Floyd Liebert, our Quarantine Officer, Mr. Quincy Bart, and Assistant Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Mrs. Russell Jeffers Gaskell. And as well, we would have had our Mr. Steve Reed in the meeting here today. We would have discussed a number of issues affecting our federation and Nevis in particular, and we would have carved out a way forward for assistance and continued assistance from the Taiwan Technical Mission.
Wednesday's meeting took place at the Ministry of Agriculture at Prospect Estate. Minister with responsibility for water services, the Honorable Spencer Brand, recently gave an update on the development of a reservoir at Zetlands. The new facility is expected to increase the island's water storage capacity.
We would have, Mr. President, demolished the old fiberglass tank there at Pond Hill. And we are presently in the process of constructing a new 250,000-gallon Aquastore glass-fused steel water tank. Most of the components, Mr. President, are already here on island. This tank, Mr. President, will allow for storage for Pond Hill and Church Ground, all the way down into Cherry Garden and Bat Village. And it will, Mr. President, add additional redundancy in our system and certainly enhance our storage capacity here on the island of Nevis.
Meantime, the Nevis Island Administration continues to explore other sources of new water.
And while we are constructing this water tank there at Pond Hill, we continue, Mr. President, to explore certain possibilities and avenues as it regards to additional water. We are seriously considering desalination, and we are also seriously looking at the addition of new wells to the island of Nevis. Both options, Mr. President, are on the table, and we feel that whichever option that is best for the people of Nevis, that will bring the greater benefit for the people of Nevis, we certainly will ensure, Mr. President, that we go with that option.
The Honorable Spencer Brand was at the time making his statement as a minister in the NIA during the October 18th sitting of the Nevis Island Assembly. The order paper has been circulated for a sitting of the National Assembly to be held at the National Assembly Chambers, Government Headquarters, Bastia, on Friday, November 4th, 2022 at 10 a.m. The Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, Prime Minister and the Minister responsible for Finance, will seek leave to introduce and have read a first time Companies Amendment Bill 2022. Additionally, the Honorable Prime Minister will move the second reading of Companies Amendment Bill 2022. Also, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister responsible for ecclesiastical and faith-based affairs, will seek leave to introduce and have read a first time Evangelistic Faith Church Incorporation Bill 2022. The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister will also move the second reading of Evangelistic Faith Church Incorporation Bill 2022. Further, the Honorable Samuel Duggins, the Minister responsible for small business and entrepreneurship, will seek leave to introduce and have read a first time Small Business Development Amendment Bill 2022. The Honorable Minister will also move the second reading of Small Business Development Amendment Bill 2022. The Honorable Senator Iselin Phillip, Junior Minister responsible for Gender Affairs, will seek leave to introduce and have read a first-time Domestic Violence Amendment Bill 2022. The Honorable Senator and Junior Minister will also move the second reading of Domestic Violence Amendment Bill 2022. Still to come, ESIA for Nevis Geothermal Project now available for public review. The details after this break.
Breathe. Release. Feel. Transform. Embrace. You.
Welcome back. The Nevis Electricity Company Limited NEVLEC, in conjunction with the Nevis Island Administration NIA, has proposed the development of a 10-megawatt geothermal plant in Hamilton Estate, Nevis. Initial approvals have been granted and an environmental and social impact assessment ESIA was carried out. The results of the said ESIA is now published for review and comments by the public from October 28th to November 28th, 2022 via the Caribbean Development Bank's website www.caribank.org, NEVLEC's website www.nevlec.com, the NIA's web portal www.nia.gov.kn, and the Department of Physical Planning on Main Street, Charlestown, Nevis. Comments can be forwarded to the Director of the Department of Physical Planning on or before November 28, 2022. The Department of Youth is now accepting nominations for its Youth Impact 12 Award in the area of volunteerism. The deadline for nominations in the area of volunteerism is Friday, November 25, 2022. The criteria for this category are youth who demonstrate initiative, leadership, and creativity in their service to others, youth who serve as role models for others in their community, and youth who inspire others to volunteer. To nominate a young person for the award, visit the Department of Youth, which is located on the second floor of the Reliable Motors Complex, to collect, complete, and submit a nomination form. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes on behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information. Thank you for viewing.